Welcome to Engineering Influence, a podcast from the American Council of Engineering Companies, coming to you live from the 2022 ACEC Fall Conference at the beautiful Broadmoor. Programming at the conference is brought to you by HDR, and very pleased to be joined today by Jeff Gebhard. He is with Braun Intertech, and he is also the chair of the Geoprofessional Coalition. Jeff, thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So this is welcome to Colorado, too. I hope you're settling in.
Love it.
It's a beautiful, the weather seems like it was cloudy, and now it's bright and beautiful, and it's great to be here. So I know that you spoke with us back in the spring, and you had, since then, you participated with the Coalition's strategic planning session. And Michelle Kroger, of course, is on board as our director of coalitions, and she was part of that session as well. And, she mentioned, talking to her, that going through that whole process had, it really gave her kind of a broader sense of what the coalitions were about and all of its impact on ACEC. How did that translate for you? What was the big takeaway for you from that strategic planning session?
Well, I really enjoyed sitting down and having that, to run through the whole strategy planning session, to really understand kind of where we've come from, where we are, and then really look at where we're going. The Geo Coalition is relatively new compared to the other coalitions, 4 or 5 years in existence. And, we've got a couple unique strategies that are unique to the Geo Coalition. And I really enjoyed how the other coalitions, the ACEC staff really embraced what Geo is trying to do, because we're not pumping out products. We're not pumping out best practices per se or templates for proposals. That stuff's out there. We have that isn't what necessarily we're best at. We want to look at business strategies for the Geoprofessionals within ACEC that are the risks that are unique to Geo. So I really enjoyed how the other coalitions really embraced what we were trying to do and help build the strategy that was broad enough so we could do what we needed to do under the umbrella of the coalitions.
That's one of the big, I think, benefits or values of the coalitions coming together like that, right? Because as you mentioned, Geo, the focus of the Geoprofessionals Coalition isn't the same as the others. Small firm, you've got your structural, everything together. Everybody's kind of got different focuses and objectives, but when you come together, you're able to kind of bring everything into kind of focus and kind of shape what works best for everybody else. And it's that nature of information sharing and that more collegial atmosphere that makes the coalitions really beneficial. I mean, could you speak a little bit about, that what you feel is the benefit of the coalition membership in that regard, of that ability to meet with firms in the same practice area, and then if you're able to get together in a larger kind of share that across specialties in engineering? Yeah,
I think there's a couple very unique things about the coalition, and specifically, I'll speak to Geo. Geo has very specific risks. Mm-hmm. We're typically a subcontractor to other ACEC firms, so having them understand the risks that we have, the soil is unknown. Typically on a construction site, it's one of the riskiest pieces of a construction project. The soil, the unknown. We test a very small portion of the overall project, and on the environmental side as well. Yeah. We are testing a very small portion of the environment, the possible contaminants out there too. So having our clients and partners in the room when we're discussing those risks is very unique to ACEC and unique to the Geo coalition as well. And then honestly, it's engagement. Yeah. We see a high percentage. I don't have the actual numbers, but a high percentage of the PAC funding is coming from coalition.
The vast majority. Yeah, the order actually did that is one thing that's remained constant is the PAC is the representation from the coalitions and the PAC is outsized. I mean, given the size of the coalitions.
Right, and I think that speaks to the engagement that we meet monthly and really discuss critical issues of the business of geoprofessional, environmental, geotechnical, materials testing, non-destructive examination, and that keeps people engaged and keeps people engaged in ACEC. What we're trying to do, the advocacy part of ACEC, very unique to other business groups that I'm part of. So I think having our clients in the room to discuss these pertinent topics and having the advocacy piece is extremely unique and really keeps me engaged and the benefit of a coalition.
I mean, really, you just hit the nail on the head as far as why people should get engaged with coalitions. But if you meet somebody in your specialty who isn't part of a coalition, I mean, what's your usual elevator pitch to say, hey, you're missing out?
Yeah, so typically, we have a lot of companies that are part of the coalition but not engaged. I think that's the first piece is I talk to the companies that are members of our coalition that plunk down the $200 or $300, whatever it is, and but they're not engaged. And so I say, hey, there's a lot. We want to know your story. Mm-hmm. We want to know what's important to you. Yeah. You've got this unique opportunity with this new Geo coalition to talk with our clients, to talk with our advocacy folks and fix some of these issues that we've been complaining about for 50 years. Yeah. So that's the first step. And then if I've got competitors, colleagues in the geo professions that aren't part of the coalition yet, it's kind of the same story. Hey, stand up and be counted. You've got unique issues. We have unique issues. We're solving them together. We need help to solve these together. If you want to solve these problems, let's do it as a team.
And given the fact, talking about challenges and meeting as a team and kind of like surmounting these, challenges together, what are some, challenges that are facing Geo right now?
Well, I think there's a lot that are consistent with ACEC, but we're typically have a very high risk portion of a construction project, like I talked about before, and making sure our clients understand that we didn't put the soil there. Yeah, we didn't put the asbestos, on their project site, and because we're here as part of the team to help clean that up. And okay, we find some bad stuff. We're here to help, and work through these issues as a team, and not laying blame and that kind of stuff for let's say bad news. Yeah. But stuff that they would have found eventually. So I think that's one thing, kind of the risk sharing and the risk identification.
Well, how's technology helping to kind of defer some of those risks, or how's technology kind of LiDAR and the like, the use of different technologies helping to maybe alleviate some of those issues? I mean, is that the case, or is it more of just, hey, here are new tools in the toolbox that we need to leverage that we can actually help mitigate risk or increase benefits to clients? Yeah,
so technology is always marching on, and we're utilizing LiDAR, like you said, drones, instrumentation, accelerometer, that type of stuff. And kind of working with the clients to make sure those are utilized correctly. Actually, funny you should mention, we are doing a roundtable with the surveyors to talk about how we can better incorporate LiDAR and some of these survey tools in what we do. And like my company, we're not surveyors, but we do a lot of monitoring. Yeah. So how do we partner with other professions to make sure that the product is consistent, high quality, and exactly right for the client? Now, to go back to your question about LiDAR, so there's all kinds of applications for these technologies. Utilizing drones with LiDAR to monitor stockpiles of clients' rock or sand stockpiles to see where they're losing and manage those things, to manage slope stability issues and creep in a rock slope. If it is moving, how do we identify those triggers? Yeah. And it's a much more cost-effective way to do that than drilling and installing a bunch of instrumentation that may be destructive to that type of thing. So we're always looking for non-destructive ways to do that more very efficiently and safely.
You mentioned that roundtable with cops, and it's going to be Greg Helmer and Steve Bine of SOMAS who are going to be there. When is that happening?
So that is happening tomorrow, Monday afternoon.
Monday afternoon. Yep. We'd love to have you back on and talk about that. Maybe you and someone from cops.
Yeah, I'd love to
come on and talk about that. It's a great time, I think, for I guess I feel like the membership is being very engaged right now with ACEC. It is a perfect opportunity if you're out there listening and you want to get further engaged. Join a coalition. If you're in the geoprofessional specialization, join the Geo Coalition, because the benefit that you're going to get out is far, far beyond the investment that you make getting into it. And it's just a great way to expand your own connections, your networking, and to improve your business and help the industry in general. So, Jeff, I really appreciate you taking time this afternoon. Conference is just kicking off. So, thanks for spending some time.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. It was great.
Well, again, this has been Engineering Influence, a podcast from the American Council of Engineering Companies, coming to you live from the 2022 Annual Fall Conference in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And we will see you soon.